Good evening, I'm Azlina Najee and thanks for joining me this Monday on 7Edition, and these are the headlines. Government sues NFC chairman and his family over 253 million ringgit loan. Water disruption in Klang and Kuala Langat due to burst pipe. And football star Neymar faces fresh police probe over rape claim. The federal government, through the Attorney General's Chambers, AGC, has filed a statement of claim against National Feedlot Corporation, NFC, over a sum of 253.6 million ringgit owed to the government. Now, those named in the suit filed at the Kuala Lumpur High Court last Friday were NFC Chairman Datuk Dr. Muhammad Saleh Ismail, who is also the husband of former Wanita UMNO Chief Tan Sri Shahrizad Abdul Aziz, and their 3 children, as well as 6 other companies owned by the family. The claim against NFC and Datuk Dr. Saleh's family amounts to 253.62 million ringgit and represents the amount owed to the government, together with interest of 2% per annum and default interest on 224.77 million ringgit. It was reported that the government would also be seeking a declaration from the court to have Datuk Dr. Saleh's family personally liable for the debt repayment, the sum of 118.04 million ringgit misappropriated from the loan and secret profits arising from it, as well as the government's entitlement to claim equitable title to the properties bought using NFC's 250 million ringgit loan from the government. The NFC, set up in 2007 with its subsidiary National Feedlot Centre to expand the local beef industry, was purportedly aimed at reducing dependency on imported beef. However, the project became embroiled in controversy for being poorly managed, as noted in the 2011 Auditor General's report. Over in Perak, 2 company directors pleaded guilty at the Ipoh Sessions Court today for negligence after 1 worker died and another sustained injuries in separate cases. The 2 were construction company Tunas Gemilang TKK Enterprise Director Teo Kim Kwan and WIM Automation Jig and Mouldings Sdn Berhad Director Ng Y Chu. In the charge sheet, it was stated that the first company, Tunas Gemilang, was involved in a project to build a 35-storey apartment in Manjung, but had failed to ensure all the pit holes were tightly closed or fenced firmly to prevent any accidents. This resulted in foreign worker Sajib Ahmud Dulai falling to his death in December 2018 at the project site. As for the second company, it failed to ensure the safety, health and welfare of its workers, which led to the injuries to foreign worker Chan Mei Ong in August last year. Both the accused now face a fine of up to 50,000 ringgit, a jail sentence of up to 2 years or both if convicted. June 18 has been fixed for sentencing. Meanwhile, in Kelantan, 2 brothers were jointly charged at the Kota Baru Sessions Court today with offering a 10,000 ringgit bribe to a police officer last Monday. One Muhammad Fikri, one Marzuki, 32, and one Muhammad Faisal, one Marzuki, 31, pleaded not guilty to the charge before Judge Zaman Muhammad Noor. One Muhammad Faisal was alleged to have offered the money to an inspector in Kubang Badak, Terengganu as an inducement to not take action against his brother and 3 others caught in possession of 787 kilograms of ketum leaves. He was alleged to have committed the offence at an empty house in Pasir Mas on May 27th, while his brother, one Muhammad Fikri, was alleged to have provided the bribe money for the officer. The brothers were charged under the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act. Court set bail at 10,000 ringgit each and July 2nd for case mention. Now over in Penang, 6 men armed with a samurai sword robbed 2 men and fled with jewellery worth 900,000 ringgit in Seberang Jaya early today. Seberang Perai Tengah District Police Chief ACP Nick Rose Azhan said during the 10:30 a.m. incident, the victims were travelling in a Proton X70 car, exiting a factory at Jalan Jelawat and were heading to a goldsmith in Jitra Kedah to dispatch the jewellery. After driving for 300 metres out of the factory, a BMW car emerged and crashes into the front side of the victim's car. In a bid to escape by reversing their car, suddenly a four-wheel drive appeared behind them and hit the rear of their vehicle. 6 masked men alighted from both vehicles with the samurai sword and smashed the windows of the victim's car and attacked them. One of the victims suffered a nosebleed in the attack, while the other was slightly injured. Efforts to track down the 6 suspects is underway. Now, with just a day away from Aidilfitri, the country's top cop has issued a stern warning to his men not to seek funds during the festive period. Inspector General of Police Datuk Sri Abdul Hamid Bado issued the warning after several district police chiefs and lower-ranked policemen were detected allegedly soliciting money to hold open houses for Hari Raya celebrations. He added some even claimed that they were collecting money in aid of Asnaf, or the less fortunate, as their excuse. Policeman is not permitted and must be stopped immediately, especially if it's from unscrupulous sources. He also revealed an internal memo warning police personnel against collecting funds externally to organise functions has been issued, and those who fail to adhere to this directive will face stern action.
Saya ada dapat rungutan daripada anggota di bawah mengatakan bahawa ada pegawai atasannya masih lagi menyuruh anak-anak buah ni untuk keluar mendapatkan sumbangan untuk dia nak menganjurkan majlis Aidilfitri. Saya ambil tindakan. Saya akan tukarkan immediately.
He also said each police personnel was reminded to protect their image as a member of the police force at all times and not resort to abuse of power for personal gains. Previously, Datuk Sri Abdul Hamid also reminded all policemen to stop their networking with gambling and vice syndicates before action is taken against them. He was met by media personnel at the Ops Selamat 15 Balik Kampung campaign at the Gombak Toll Plaza today. Meanwhile, 90 deaths due to road accidents were recorded in the first 5 days of Ops Selamat 15 in conjunction with this year's Aidilfitri's festivity. Bukit Aman Corporate Communications Head Dato' Asmawati Ahmad said as of yesterday, 8,454 accidents, including 84 fatal cases, were reported nationwide involving 12,078 vehicles. In a statement today, Dato' Asmawati said Selangor recorded the highest number of accidents with 2,518 cases, followed by Johor 1,294 and Kuala Lumpur 1,131. Apart from that, a total of 1,574 operations were conducted nationwide during the 5 days, with 121,590 summonses issued for various offences. For burglary cases involving homes and premises, 208 cases were recorded within the first 5 days. Ops Selamat 15, which was launched last Wednesday until June 12, focuses on 6 major offences, namely driving in the emergency lane, overtaking on double lines, using mobile phones, cutting queue, speeding and not obeying traffic light. Now, residents in 84 areas in Klang and 9 areas in Kuala Langat will experience disrupted water supplies due to a burst pipe in Shah Alam, Selangor this morning. Air Selangor Sdn Bhd spokesman Abdul Rauf Ahmad said repair works are underway to fix the pipeline, which should be fully restored by noon tomorrow. Abdul Rauf said investigators are in the midst of identifying the exact cause of pipe burst. Meanwhile, the water concessionaire had mobilized tankers to the areas affected and activated the local service centre. He also said water is still flowing but is somewhat restricted due to low pressure. The status of the unscheduled water supply disruption will be updated from time to time on multiple platforms. Consumers can refer to the Shabas website, the Air Selangor mobile app, as well as the agency's Facebook page for further information. Now over in Johor, a teenager had a bad encounter while he was fixing decorative lights in his home for the Aidil Fitri in Johor Bahru. The 15-year-old's hand pierced into the iron fence in the house at Jalan Padi Masuri 14, Bandar Baru Uda late yesterday. Now the boy was apparently climbing the fence to fix the lights. He then slipped, causing his right hand to pierce into the fence wire. 11 firemen from the Lakin Fire and Rescue Station rushed to save the victim. The firemen had to use a hydraulic cutter to release the boy's hand. The teen was then sent to the Sultanah Aminah Hospital in Johor Bahru for treatment. Now, when we return, 9 killed as Sudan military rulers try to disperse sit-in. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us. Now, Hari Raya Aidil Fitri is just one day away, and Malaysians have started to travel back to their hometown since Friday. For those of you who are still working and are planning to make a move tonight, let's cross over to our reporter Ridwan Hussein at Duta Toll Plaza, Kuala Lumpur for the traffic updates. So Ridwan, how's the traffic looking tonight?
Well, thank you, Lina. As of now, current traffic conditions here heading out of Kuala Lumpur through this Duta Toll Plaza for me look to be smooth and uncongested. With Hari Raya Aidil Fitri just around the corner, it seems that many city folks have taken the opportunity to beat the annual highway gridlock and leave early for their hometowns since last Friday. And it looks like they also took the opportunity to leave during the weekend, as it was also the school holidays and hence the right time to travel back home. Checks by me and my crew earlier at the nearest police petrol station, here also showed many families stopping for refuel their vehicles, breaking their fast, stop on food and drinks before making trip home. And expected by plus, the flow traffic will start slowly increase back later on tonight, especially for those travelling towards Perak up to Perlis. And I also noticed that the volume of traffic using this toll plaza seems to has increased earlier before the breaking fast compared to this evening. And among the areas of the Now South Highway that expected to have slow-moving traffic tonight are including the Slim River heading to Sungkai, Gua Tempurung, as well as from the Menora Tunnel to Kuala Kangsar. And according to PLUS, 2 million vehicles are expected to be on highways during the peak period of this Aidil Fitri festive season. And this is actually an increase of 18% from the usual 1.7 million. And PLUS has made various preparations in terms of highway operations and traffic distribution, including issuing its travel time advisory TTA schedule. So those for heading the farthest destination from the Klang Valley, such as Perlis, Kedah, Penang and Johor, are advised to enter the highway before 10 a.m. While for those heading to nearer locations such as Negeri Sembilan, Melaka and Selangor are advised to enter the highway after 10 a.m. So motorists out there, plan your trip well before move. Remember to keep both eyes on roads and both hands on the wheel. That's all from me, Lina, from the Duta Toll Plaza. Drive safely, Malaysia. Back to you, Lina, at the studio.
Thank you, Ridwan, for those updates. Stay safe. Now, moving on. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and the entire Malaysian Federal Cabinet will be hosting an Aidil Fitri open house at the Sri Perdana Complex in Putrajaya on the first day of Aidil Fitri. More than 50,000 people are expected to attend and enliven the event. The Prime Minister's department, in a statement today, said the open house will take place from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. According to the statement, members of the public are invited to come in the appropriate attire. A free shuttle bus service will also be made available to take the public to the Sri Perdana Complex from 3 locations, mainly Putrajaya Central, Tuanku Mizan Zainal Abidin Mosque and Putra Mosque, starting at 9:30 a.m. Visitors can park their vehicles at the 3 locations and take the shuttle bus to make a return trip to the complex. Now let's hop on to our daily segment Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. So remember Abang Buta, or Daniel Abdullah Tan, who recently made waves on the news for his smashingly viral road rage antics? Well, his case caught the attention of an empathetic Malaysian who voiced out on Facebook to offer help to the victim involved in the accident and plead for Daniel's release so he could celebrate Hari Raya Aidilfitri with his kids. In the Facebook post, Muhammad Fadzli Ramli wrote the compassionate message urging the victim, Siu Chan Vun, to accept his offer and allow Daniel's 2 kids to enjoy Hari Raya with him. Fazli said he agrees what the 33-year-old father did was wrong, but suggests for him to be given a second chance. Just days ago, most netizens were unanimously against him. But now, considering that Aidilfitri is around the corner, some netizens also have expressed their sympathy towards Daniel in the comments section. Many also praised Fazli for his effort to help unite Daniel and his family. One netizen even offered to chime in the contribution. The road-raging motorcyclist went viral in a dashcam video last week, which saw him smashing a car windscreen in Sudan on May 28th and was sentenced to a year in jail on Friday, where he pleaded guilty to causing damage to a Produa Alza with his helmet. Now, there are many challenges that took over the internet last year, but 2019 has its own brand of viral, scary and even dangerous challenges. The latest is called the #Vacuum Challenge. It was created a few years ago, but has recently resurfaced on the internet, with many young people itching to try it because it seems easy and amusing. Well, little do they know that the new craze has dangers that come with it. This bizarre challenge only requires a big plastic bin bag and a vacuum cleaner to create a vacuum inside the bag, consuming all the air inside. This creates a seal around the person's body, and once the bag is airtight, the person inside is basically stuck. Experts have condemned the so-called challenge, calling it high-risk behavior, with high potential for suffocation, injury, and can lead to damage to the nervous system. That, however, still hasn't stopped thousands of netizens from trying out the challenge and sharing videos online. Now, to our viewers out there, please don't try this at home. It really is not worth the risk. After the break, Boeing finds flaws in some of its 737s. We'll be right back. We're back with world news now. At least 19 people were killed, including 4 children, on Sunday in a car bomb near a bustling market and mosque in a rebel-held city in northwestern Syria. The explosion in Azaz, which occurred when many people were leaving evening prayers, also wounded over 20 people. In a nearby market, busy shoppers purchasing clothes and gifts ahead of the upcoming Aidilfitri were also among the victims. Authorities reported severe damages, with at least 6 stores up in flames, as well as storefronts of dozens of other stores were blown out. It was not clear who was behind the attack. The bombing comes one day after a similar explosion killed 10 people and wounded 20 in the northeastern city of Raqqa. Turkey launched Operation Euphrates Shield in 2016 and seized more than 2,000 square kilometers in northern Syria, including Azaz, clearing the area of Daesh extremists while preventing any Kurdish advance in the region. At least 9 protesters were shot dead on Monday as Sudan's military rulers tried to break up a sit-in outside Khartoum's army headquarters. Heavily armed security forces in pickup trucks mounted with machine guns were deployed in large numbers all around the capital, while protesters put up makeshift barricades and closed off streets. Now, earlier, the US and Britain called for an end to the crackdown on demonstrators who want the generals behind the overthrow of veteran President Omar al-Bashir to hand over to civilian rule. Rallies against Bashir's authoritarian 3-decade rule led to his ouster in April. However, tens of thousands of demonstrators gathered in front of the military headquarters, calling on the generals to cede power to a transitional authority. Last month, 9 people were injured when soldiers stormed a pro-democracy sit-in. Now, Boeing announced Sunday that some of its medium-haul 737s, including the 737 MAX 8, could have a defective wing part, but that there had been no reports of flight issues linked to the defect. The American aviation giant, which has been rocked by an unprecedented crisis after its entire 737 MAX 8 fleet was grounded in mid-March, said a subcontractor informed it of problems with a batch of a part involved in deploying the wing's leading edge. Boeing said in a statement that it had relayed the defective lot number to aircraft owners so they can inspect the parts in question, adding that if operators find the defective parts on their aircraft, they should replace them before putting the plane back in service. The leading edge of an aircraft is key to takeoff and landing, as it is meant to improve the wing's drag and therefore the jet's aerodynamics. The planes were grounded after a combined 346 people died in 2 deadly crashes, the first in Indonesia in October, followed by one in Ethiopia in March. Long considered a gold standard internationally, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration's reputation has suffered amid scrutiny of its oversight process and reports it allowed Boeing to effectively self-certify some features of the MAX. Brazilian police will be investigating football star Neymar for publishing intimate images of a woman who accused him of rape, as he may have violated a Brazilian law designed to protect people from being filmed or pictured without their consent in a sexual nature. The Paris Saint-Germain forward uploaded a string of WhatsApp messages from his alleged victim on Sunday in an attempt to show the claims were a setup and an extortion attempt. In Brazil, it is a crime punishable by up to 5 years in prison to offer, share, sell, distribute or publish images or videos with sexual content without the consent of the victim. The country's cybercrimes department said in a statement on Sunday that it would look into the alleged disclosure of a video by Neymar, which he revealed to his nearly 120 million followers. If found guilty, Neymar could face up to 5 years in jail. In the 7-minute Instagram video uploaded Saturday, which has been deleted, Neymar denied the allegations and claimed that the encounter with the woman was consensual.
Estou sendo acusado de estupro. É uma palavra pesada, uma coisa muito forte, mas é o que está acontecendo no momento. Bom, fui pego de surpresa. Foi muito ruim, muito triste escutar isso, porque quem me conhece sabe, sabe do meu caráter, da minha índole, sabe que jamais faria uma coisa desse tipo.
The 27-year-old then showed what he said was a long series of WhatsApp messages with the woman, including topless photographs of her in bed. According to a Brazilian police report, the unidentified Brazilian woman claims that the incident took place on May 15th at the Sofitel Paris Arc de Triomphe Hotel. The unidentified woman, who lives in Brazil, allegedly met Neymar through Instagram. And after exchanging messages, the footballer invited her to visit him in Paris in mid-May. According to the complaint, Neymar arrived at the hotel apparently intoxicated, and the two chatted and exchanged caresses. But then he became aggressive and used violence to have sex with the victim without her consent. Reigning UCI Mountain Bike World Cup downhill champions Rachel Atherton and Amaury Pierron put down their marker for a 2019 repeat with victory at a weather-hit Fort William in United Kingdom on Sunday. We leave you with visuals of the heart-stopping race as we wrap up tonight's news. With that, I'm Mazlina Najee. Thanks for watching and good night.